All right, we're live.
Hey,
Yo.
welcome back.
Yeah, thank you. Welcome back
As
to
you
you.
can see, I'm on my new computer.
I can see that. It looks very
Yep,
different.
yep. Um, no, I'm liking it. It's cool. Here's a fun thing I learned about the computer.
Uh-huh.
Um, so I set it up. I brought it into my office, and the internet speed, the down was at like 30 megabits,
Okay.
which before my old computer, 100 plus easy usually.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
But it had these antenna things that you screwed into the back,
Right.
and they
Okay.
look like the little antennas that are on my router.
Mm-hmm.
So which I've never screwed those into a computer before. I've never used them. My old computer didn't have those.
Right. Okay.
Screwed them in, 500 plus megabits.
Yeah. Makes sense. That sounds
When did
about right.
that become a thing?
I don't know. It's kind of weird the cards that you can buy that just have like things flopped over them or coming out of them or whatever. Fun.
'Cause like I said, and I even looked at the back of my old machine, being like, did this thing have screws on it? Could I have increased my downloads? No, it doesn't. So in the last 12 years, I guess that's a new thing.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't, that was new to me. But now I got real fast internet. My internet was real fast before, but now I got 5 times as fast.
Sure.
And it's real pretty. It's all rainbowy. I think I'm actually going to keep the colors. I'm not using the keyboard. That was too much. I also
Mm,
wanted a wireless keyboard and mouse, but
sure. Yeah.
got the colors going. It's big. I'm liking it. I've been playing some games.
Yeah. Nice. Any
New
that you're
PC,
gonna
new
talk
me.
about here, or did you throw some like
Mm.
intensive ones that kind of put it through some paces?
No, not really. I
Okay, because what you have here is an
played.
intensive, just like spoiler warning or whatever for.
No. I did. I played a bit of Helldivers 2.
Okay.
Um, it didn't actually look that much crazier than I was expecting it.
Yeah.
Um, I did play a little bit of Modern Warfare 3 because that came to Game Pass.
Okay. Sure.
That looked better, but it wasn't like blowing my mind.
Right.
But just the fact that it was running it is probably like the big deal.
You could try
Um,
Hellblade. That's on Game Pass.
yeah, that would be a good visual one.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, maybe I'll do that to give it a try. Yeah, it's a good idea. I'll probably do that. But and it renders video fast, and that's what I need it for.
Yeah. For your work or whatever makes sense.
It's obviously going to make this podcast better. That's the real. I was like, I need a machine that can podcast, and they were
Yep.
like, okay, here you need a 4060 in there.
Yep.
You need you need 500 megabit down.
Yeah.
So I got the best podcasting PC that Costco had.
You need a CD-ROM drive. Why? Because you just need one. Just
That one actually
upselling you
actually
on
don't
everything.
have. I no longer have the ability to put a CD into this computer.
Yeah. I have a CD drive in my closet, but like I would have to take my computer apart and install it. So that hasn't happened.
Yeah, when was the
Maybe
last time you put a CD in a computer?
I had to a couple years ago with an old machine because I had to reinstall Windows on it to grab something from like my past or whatever.
Oh,
So
okay.
it was weird. Yeah, but generally no, you don't need to do that anymore.
I feel like the last time I think I've only had to do that once, but it was just like a USB stick that Windows was on.
Sure. Yeah.
So yeah. What's new with you? What's going on?
Not a whole heck of a lot. Finally caught up on a bunch of shows or whatever. Did you catch up on the final of The Boys?
Finished the boys. I finished Star Wars.
You want to give a quick, just like thoughts on both of those?
Yeah, well, why don't you go first?
Yeah. I thought The Boys season 4 overall was a little less good than 3. I liked 3 quite a bit, mainly because of oh my god, I can't remember his name. The Soldier Boy guy. I thought he kind of carried that season. Every time he's on the screen, he just has like a natural charisma. He's good.
Yeah. Yep. I was gonna just say charisma. Yep.
Um so I thought this one was a little bit lacking. It is weird how like on the nose a few things that just happened in real life got to like things that were written months to a year before shooting but whatever.
Right, and they even renamed the final episode.
They did. Yeah. Because wasn't it like assassination attempt or something? Like, wasn't that like
Something
the
like that.
original?
Yeah.
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 Just weird timing. And I'm really, really a fan of how that final episode ends and like the build up to the final season. It's
Okay.
where just everything goes bad. It's like the Empire Strikes Back ending. Everything's
Oh, the
bad.
very end part. Okay, yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
This is pretty cool. There's some big stuff happens there with some of the characters, so it's
People
neat.
did seem pretty down on this season. I was enjoying my time with it. I was having fun. Um, there are kind of a few little story threads that like they start up and then it immediately kind of goes nowhere, or they just like wrap it up like by the next
Quickly.
episode. Like it's
Yeah.
like, what was the point of even doing that then? I'm thinking of like when they're um when they're staging the like supporter murders.
Yeah.
Be like, oh, the star, and then they're just like, oh no, we got the footage, you're good. It's like, wow, that wrapped up quick.
They
I
did
was like,
that a
one episode.
lot. They did that a lot. The shapeshifter was resolved way quicker than I thought it would be. Like, yeah,
Um,
it's
I'm trying
crazy.
not to like spoil everything. Going
Yeah.
to jail, just like, no, I'm not. You're good.
Yeah.
Like, what was
This
the
whole
point?
season had a bunch of those. It
Yeah,
was interesting.
it was kind of mismatched in that way, but yeah.
Also, Carl Urban gives just like one of the best performances I've seen in a while, where he's like on the phone call with Huey or whatever. One of the
Okay.
not the final episode, but one of the few ones where it's just like a static shot of his face and he's like having a moment. It's very good.
Or-
Very good stuff.
Yeah, Carl Urban's great.
He's great.
Um,
Yep.
keep wanting to go back and watch Dread,
Yeah, yeah.
just to get some Carl Urban chin in my life.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, so that's a good one. Um, and then Star Wars. I enjoyed Star Wars. I don't care about like lore, so I'm not
Mm,
like upset about like canon or whatever that I'm seeing some people. Um, I enjoyed
sure.
those characters.
I just thought the writing in that show was bad. Like just throughout. It had some fun moments, some really cool fan service. I thought most of the fights were awesome,
Yeah.
choreograph wise, but like I just thought the writing was kind of bad. I thought the acting for most of them was pretty bad. I thought the dude who I had a problem with at the beginning, I don't know his name and I feel bad. The Korean dude, the Squid Games guy. I thought he
Squid
was
Games.
bad at
Yeah.
the beginning, but I thought he found his footing somewhere and he started just like showing how much more of an actor he is than the main girl by the end. There's some moments at the end where she really needed to like act, and I felt like there were some real moments that she was supposed to have that I felt fell flat. I don't know. That
Okay.
show was fine. Is kind of where I landed on it because it was just a dumb fun spectacle every now and then with two bad uh flashback episodes that I kind of just wish weren't there. I wasn't a fan of them.
Is there two? There's the one where
They do the Rashomon thing where it's like the same scene, the same thing happens,
oh
but you see it
from
from the
other
both
perspective.
sides.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I just
That's
thought it
right.
was kind of
Okay.
lazy how they did. Yeah, that show's fine. It's like a 4 or 5 out of 10 for me. Like it's totally fine.
Mm. Okay. I think I liked it a bit more than that, but okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, and then I was gonna start Kite Man, but I think I'm actually gonna save that for my flights I have coming up in a few weeks.
Yeah, that'll be good. I agree.
Because I mean, I was thinking about it. They didn't put him in like the last season because they were probably saving all that content for his own stuff. So like, it's been a minute since I've seen Kite Man.
Yeah,
That character's so good.
he's pretty good. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's exciting.
Other than that, though, tomorrow I'm seeing Deadpool and Wolverine. I'm so excited.
Yeah, that's tomorrow already. Damn, time flew by. I generally don't like going to the theater if I can help it. I hate the theater, but I might see if I can check it out this weekend. I kind of want to.
That movie just looks so fun.
It
Like
looks
I've been
fun.
trying to avoid a lot of the trailers and stuff.
Yeah,
Um, but it just you just know that they're gonna just make some fun references
yeah,
to a lot of movies I've seen. They're gonna poke fun at X-Men Origins Wolverine, of course they are, right? Like,
yeah, probably. Yeah,
so that's what I'm really excited for that again. So I think it's been a while since I've been like this excited for a Marvel movie, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. What was the last one that you were this excited? Was it after Endgame? Have you been as excited after Endgame?
Well, after Endgame, there was Spider-Man, which is one of my
You're
like
right.
favorite ones.
Yeah.
I also really love Guardians 3. I just don't think I was this excited for it.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
I think that one kind of surprised me how much I enjoyed it.
That's
Um,
fair.
but this one, the anticipation is definitely high.
Sure.
All right, well, why don't we do a podcast about video games?
Okay.
Because this is the Top Down Perspective for July 25th, and I'm Sean Booker.
I'm Paul Fleck.
And Paul, how's your Game Pass subscription going?
It's going pretty good. There's two games I was stoked that came out recently that I wanted to check out. I'll start with the one that we both didn't play, and I'll talk about Flintlock for a moment.
Okay.
Flintlock is
I
the
downloaded it. I want to play it. I'm playing a lot of games right now.
yeah, Flintlock is the third person action game where you play a woman who uses like guns and a sword as like her main attacks or whatever, and you have a little fennec fox companion that's magical or whatever.
This is by the Ashen devs, right?
By the Ashen devs. I
Yeah.
think there's parts of it that I think are pretty good. Overall, I think I was a little like surprised at how like less than or maybe double A it felt, where just there's some weird like animations end too quickly and some UI decisions where it feels like it's looking like it's supposed to be like a full AAA optimized thing, and it's not that. So that was a little bit surprising to me, but overall it plays fine. I guess like it's just leaving a little bit to be desired because there's so many other things out right now that are doing stuff I really really like, and this is just like a totally mediocre semi open world thing that I just kind of don't care about the world or the story in. But like mechanically
Okay, that's a
it's
bummer.
fine. You know.
I mean, I haven't played it yet, but I'm just kind of basing it on like the pedigree of Ashen. Like that, Ashen was a pretty small game.
Hmm.
Definitely not a graphical powerhouse.
Right.
But I really loved the voice acting in Ashen. It had some real good narration. Anything like that here?
Yeah, that stuff's okay. I've only played about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours max, so I haven't got like really deep into it. It feels Souls like, or like Souls light ish or whatever.
Okay.
Which is fine, but I don't know. There's something like maybe there's not enough enemies, or the enemies like feel weirdly unbalanced, because sometimes you have an enemy that can just like two shot you or whatever, which is fine, but then some enemies are just a joke and kind of stupid. So yeah, I don't know. It's weird. It's just like a double A experience, and I think I was expecting something closer to a triple A just because everything I've seen of it looks amazing. Like it's graphically very impressive looking. It has some good like combat flair to it. You have like some good movement. You start with like a double jump basically, or at least after the tutorial.
Oh yeah.
You have a double jump and like an air dash sort of thing, and it uses the gunpowder basically to like do that stuff. So there's like some cool things going on there, but I haven't seen anything to make me care about the world or like what's going on in it personally. And in a time where there's a bunch of other stuff that I'm pretty invested in, it's just kind of like falling flat for me. So I'm probably not going to revisit it currently. It's going to go on the Banishers Ghosts of New Eden list of like get back to this when you have some space away from stuff or whatever.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah. It's fine though. It's a great Game Pass get, I'll tell you, where I just download it and try it out.
Nice.
Yeah. The big one that I was excited to try out and have been playing is Kunitsu-Gami, the new Capcom thing. Path of the Goddess, I guess, is the second half of that. And you've been
So
playing
yeah,
it
no,
as well.
I'm playing this too.
Hmm.
I'm liking it,
It's
but I
fun.
already knew that I played it back at Summer Game Fest, which was basically like first three missions, although they were in a different order than they are in the actual game.
Okay.
Um, like in the actual game, doesn't isn't the first mission like a boss fight?
The tutorial mission is a boss fight that I can you win that? I don't remember, or do you just lose and then that's kind of the opening? Because it like throws you down or up the mountain. I can't really tell. It throws
I
you
I don't
somewhere.
remember losing any fight unless it was like a cutscene.
The basic thing is that you go to a village, you like cleanse it or whatever, and then there's a boss fight. So but I think it starts with like a tutorial boss fight. Yeah.
Yeah, so I've talked about it a bit before, but yeah, I want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, so I've seen a few people say that it feels like an old game, and it totally does. Like this is one of those games that would be on a like 20 coolest GameCube games that you never heard about or whatever. Like if you told me that this came out on the GameCube and only 5 people bought it and loved it, I would totally believe you. It plays
No,
exactly like
absolutely.
that.
Like it's got some real PS2 energy. This is like a Billy and the Hatcher. Like they made one of these
Right.
things, and this is like a chibi Robo.
Yeah.
There's a weird little thing that the company made, and then they just kind of never went back to it, kind of thing. Yeah.
It's super fun. It's this weird like combination of hack and slash versus with or cross with tower defense sort of thing where like you said you're just kind of creating a path for the goddess or whatever to cleanse the Torii gate at the end of the level, which she will slowly move down or stop depending on what you command her to do. And you're at nighttime you're going to be attacked and you have to set up defenses, and that usually means saving the villagers that have been cocooned in demon goo and then giving them kind of a role to play in the upcoming fight for your life throughout the night, and then you continue on and so forth. I've unlocked 4 or 5 of the different things. You start with a woodcutter with just an axe, or just a melee attacker with an axe. You get an archer, archer has been like my favorite thing because I can just kind of put them where I need them and then tank everything myself, because your main character can like do big sweeping damage to stuff or like attack high. You can do combos essentially with your different attacks.
Yeah, and all the combos, it's called dance fighting because
Dance
on
fighting.
X is like regular attack, and then Y is dance attack. That's literally what it's called.
Yeah.
So the animation just looks cool because you're constantly like spinning around, and then they have these cool flourishes of like it's almost like I don't know, like kaleidoscope slashes in the air that you're kind of like emitting out of you. Like I love the presentation. There's so much color in this game.
Yeah. It's very colorful. And it's like if you've ever seen those like ribbon dances or something like that, it's like that, but the ribbon is a sword and you're killing shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
it's it's very cool. And it is kind of neat that you basically have an attack and a dance attack button, and depending on when you press the dance attack button after doing the normal attack, it will give you kind of like a combo thing. So if you do like an attack and then a dance attack right away, it'll do this upwards like jump sort of thing, which helps for enemies that are in the sky or in the air. If you do it like 3 times and then the dance one, you'll do this like 4 or 5 slash combo where you're kind of spinning around doing a bunch of AoE to stuff and moving forward. Yeah, it's cool. It's very,
The
very
middle
cool.
one kind of shoots one out. So if you're trying to like attack far,
Like a
I use
range
the middle
thing,
one
yeah.
like the most because where the enemies come out, you can't touch that area without like it's
Right.
like poison area or whatever. So I'm using that one a lot just to like attack further into that zone.
Yeah. Uh I've unlocked the archers have been very good, and I've fully upgraded them already because I kind of use them the most as like my back units to make sure the I can't remember her name now, the priestess or whatever, doesn't get attacked, because you're trying to protect her, and they're kind of like the last line of defense for stuff that gets past me, essentially.
Oh, interesting. So you actually like because my thing is I set everyone up at the gate and no one gets past us. Like nobody's hanging out with the priestess.
Yeah, so someone like I definitely did that for the first 4 or 5, and then there's like weird levels now where there's like multiple paths or whatever, and they can
Oh,
attack
okay.
from
So you're a
different.
little further ahead of me then.
Yeah, probably not much though. Like I haven't played a
I
whole lot.
just
Did you get out the
I'm either
underground?
1 or 2 missions right after the boss fight in the dark,
That
like the
boss fight is
centipede one.
sick. That fight's
That
so
one it
cool.
was so hard because I had been kind of cruising through that game, and then that one just like slapped me on my ass.
Oh really? See, I didn't have problems with that. I had problems with the flying one. That one screwed me. It's like the second one
Is that the
too.
oh, the second one? Oh, no. I didn't
Yeah.
have a single problem until the dark one. I even had to look up, like, is there a strategy I am missing? Like, what is going
Yeah, you
on?
just light all the
Um,
things in the level.
I was lighting the things, but then I, like, wasn't,
You weren't
like,
attacking the
focusing on
weak
the
points.
slugs. I was
Yeah.
kind of just going through it like, "Oh, I'm just gonna muscle my way through this fast because that's how it's worked for the whole game." This one, it's like, "No, you need to, like, slow down
Right.
and, like, actually pay attention and stuff."
Does he even take damage if you don't hit those spots? I think he's armored, so I could see that being really annoying.
Like, if you don't turn the lights on?
No, if you don't attack the like soft sluggy parts. Will he
Oh, I'm not
take?
sure. I mean, there's so many sluggy parts,
Yeah,
so
there are. That's true.
it
That
would be
fight's
hard
cool.
not to.
I really like that fight quite a bit.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I don't know. It's super cool. I unlocked the sumo wrestler version now,
Yeah.
and that's been kind of interesting. That that one's hard to use because it's 300 like points or whatever, and the other ones are all 50. So you have to like
Oh,
really invest in somebody
okay.
to do that.
That does remind me. I just unlocked that, so I did the mission after the boss where you get the thief.
Hmm. To dig
Um,
up like the stuff in the snow or the ground or whatever.
yeah, so I finished that mission and that's where I'm at.
Okay, cool. Yeah, one or two ahead, you'll get into the stages where you can choose which path to take, like left or right or whatever, and then it kind of opens up the map a little bit. So it's still not hard, I will say. I haven't had like many issues with it, but it's more interesting because then they start attacking from like different sides or whatever, and the strategy of just having a camp set out in front of the Torii gate becomes a little less viable. It's still
All right.
somewhat viable, but like you just have to pay more attention to the back as well yourself.
Yeah, it's a cool game. It's like super unique. There's nothing you can
Yeah,
really like relate it to. It's kind of doing its own thing, and I think that's the really special part. So it's a great Game Pass one because
it's
I have
great.
a feeling no one would have picked this up
Very few.
otherwise.
Yeah,
I'm not convinced a lot of people are probably going to play it on Game Pass because of how
yeah,
small it is, but I'm sure Game Pass is helping.
yeah. I think it's awesome. I think if you have Game Pass, you should check it out because you'll know pretty quick if it's for you. Like by the end of the tutorial, if you're not feeling it, it's just more of that. But I liked it. I thought it was dope.
Definitely cool. Yeah, no, I plan to play more.
Yeah, that's it for me.
So I continue with Dungeons of Hinterberg. I'm really liking that. It's just kind of clicking of like what's the kind of game I want to play right now, and it's Dungeons of Hinterberg is that. And much like Kunitsu-Gami, it's level based, so
Hmm.
I'm kind of going back and forth between those. Like, okay, I'm gonna do like 2 levels here, 2 levels there, one
Yeah,
level here, 1 level there. So yeah, it's just real charming. I'm opening up the other areas now. I have 3 areas I can explore around in, and I'm increasing my relationship meters. So definitely enjoying Dungeons of Hinterberg. I highly recommend that. But the new thing I've been playing this week is the Marvel Rivals beta,
okay.
which is
Yep.
going for like 2 weeks. I think it closes on August 5th. That's a long beta.
Oh, weird. Why don't they just open it? That's weird. I thought it was only for a weekend.
No, I thought it was August 5th. I don't know if it's
I
going to
think
switch
you're
to
right.
open or what it is.
Yeah.
Um, it sounds like this one is. So I'm going to relate it to Conquered a lot
Sure.
because they're similar
AKA
gameplay.
Overwatch.
Yeah, they're both kind of Overwatch clones. They both came out with betas pretty close to one another.
Yep.
I think I like Conquered a bit more
Oh, interesting.
visually,
Oh.
um,
Mhm.
but Marvel Rivals is definitely more Overwatch. Like there is an
Right.
alt, there is a mode where you are pushing the payload to the end. Like it is just Overwatch, and it also seems like from like concurrent players and stuff, this thing is blowing Conquered out of the water,
Sure. Yeah.
um, which
Hmm.
is not a great look considering the Conquered beta was much easier to get into. The Marvel Rivals one, I think you had to have like pre-ordered it or like signed up for it or something like that. Whereas Conquered was just on it was on for everyone for PlayStation Plus, and then it was totally open.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I talked a bit about this back when I did Summer Game Fest. It does have a great look, a very like comic book art style. I haven't played all the characters. There's a lot of them. I want to say there's probably close to like there's more than a dozen or so. I've played Hulk. Hulk seems really overpowered, and so, some of the characters also seem almost kind of one to one um of Overwatch characters. Like Hulk is Diva. When the Hulk takes too
Yeah,
much damage, he reverts back into
the
Bruce
Bruce
Banner with a
banner.
little tiny little gun.
Yep.
Um, Punisher's pretty great. He seems very much like a Soldier 76. Um, Venom seems really overpowered when I'm not playing as him.
Yeah,
Uh,
sure. I
and
love those
who else?
characters.
Mantis is cool. I liked Mantis, and there's an ice lady who I cannot remember her name. They're both like healing classes. I've been enjoying them quite a bit. Trying to think who else did I give a try? Magic is there. She seems fun. She's like a melee character that can kind of warp around a bit. Penny Parker, which you would think would be like the Diva clone,
Yeah,
but she doesn't. She never gets out of the suit. She sets like traps and slows people down, like spiderweb stuff. Star Lord seems to be very similar to Reaper.
yeah. Doesn't he
Um,
have the same alt, essentially? Isn't he the one that does the like die, die, die one? He just
yeah,
shoots
it's kind
around a
of that. I
bunch.
don't know if that's an alt or if it's just one of your abilities, because I did play against somebody who was doing it kind of often and just destroying people.
Hmm.
So someone says Emma Frost. No, it's not Emma Frost. This girl, she like ice skated around. I actually don't have any familiarity, so I'm assuming she might be like a newer Marvel character in the comics that I just haven't heard of.
Hmm.
Um, who else? I think that's maybe all I played in this beta. I played as Hela in back at Summer Game Fest,
Okay.
but yeah, I definitely like first mission with Hulk. Didn't die once. It could have just been against bots. I don't really know, but my one issue is I feel like the attacks, they don't have enough punch to them. They don't feel like there's like like they're really hitting hard. That's my one complaint. It's a little nitpicky. Um,
Hmm.
but other than that, I'm having a good time. Uh, I want to play as the other characters a bit more. Rocket seems like he'd be pretty fun. But Luna Snow, there we go. Thank you, someone who put it in there. Whoever the
Oh
hell
yeah.
that is, she's a fun healer character and such.
Sure.
Um, she, uh, she also seems kind of Lucio like. Her alt is Lucio's kind of basic passive of switching from healing to speed. So yeah, a lot of one to one with Overwatch. Um, and I have a feeling, I don't know if it's free to play or not. I can't remember if they've talked about their monetization model, but it seems like a lot of people are kind of like upset with Overwatch these days. I could see this kind of eating its lunch,
Yeah.
coming in there and just being the replacement if it is a free to play thing. If not, I feel like it's just shooting itself in the foot, like we were talking about with Conquered.
Yeah.
Um, oh, someone said that it's going to be free to play. Yeah, I think this is going to do some serious numbers. It sounds like the beta is already doing some serious numbers.
Yeah.
So anyone just kind of looking for like more Overwatch that isn't Overwatch, I think they're going to find that here. So
Sure.
that's all I've been playing. So why not let's do some news.
Sick. I haven't
I
paid
got a
attention
bunch
to
of
any.
interesting stories. Evo happened over the weekend. Did you
It
watch
did.
any Evo?
I didn't. No, I was too busy doing other stuff.
I watched some highlights actually before this show for the last hour or so, just a few finals that some people were linking me to.
Okay.
Um, I have here just like the list of kind of news that came out of there. If we just want to call out stuff of interest to us, for me, it's just characters for the most part. So I'm not really interested in any of this, but I wanted to bring it forward to see if anything caught your eye.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, the fact that Heihachi isn't dead is kind of crazy, or whatever they're doing.
Samurai Jack in multiverses. Sure.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry. I've been scrolling. I just got to it.
Yeah. And
Okay.
then
That's
the
cool.
one bit of news that I kind of was hearing people get excited about was SNK versus Capcom SVC Chaos got released. Just was just out.
It did. They just dropped it. That's true. Yeah.
I think that was like the biggest news. Other than that, like I said, it was just kind of characters and such. So
Yeah.
I don't follow the games, so that doesn't really do much for me. But watch some Evo finals. I watched the Street Fighter 6 one. And
Okay.
then what was the other one someone linked me to? I think the Third Strike was the one I watched.
Okay.
Yeah, Street Fighter 3 Third Strike.
Mm-hmm.
The losers quarterfinals. Some people linked me to that as well. That was a pretty fun watch.
Cool.
All right, last week I think it was like maybe the day we recorded, just after we recorded or whatever. Bethesda officially becomes the first Microsoft game studio to fully unionize.
Yeah, that's right. I heard about this.
So before that, we had Raven Software's QA team. Um, the difference here is that this is a wall to wall union, meaning it is not just one department; it is people throughout multiple departments. So like not just a QA team. This has over this the article. 241 developers signed the union to make it happen. Uh, Making it like one of the biggest ones so far. And then, not to dwarf that, but few days later this week, the entire World of Warcraft development team unionized, over 500 people. Another wall to wall union. Um,
Yeah, that's crazy.
so it really seems like kind of we have passed a tipping point. There's like a new union every week almost at this point, and they're just getting bigger.
Yeah. It makes you wonder, like, so like Bobby Kotick and his crew or whatever definitely were union busting or whatever, because like as soon as they're gone and new ownership is kind of overseeing stuff and Microsoft is like accepting it, they're just going for it. It's happening like right away.
Maybe I think what the way I'm looking at it, I obviously don't know. Um, we had Raven Software under Bobby Kotick. Maybe
Yeah.
that was just kind of like people dipping their toes in, and as we're seeing more form, it's just kind of beginning to avalanche. So I mean,
Yeah, it could
I
be.
wouldn't be surprised if people were union busting. It's probably a mix of both.
Yeah.
At the moment, they don't have any contracts, from what I understand, but that takes months, if not years, before that. But
For sure.
good for them. And then Microsoft is just kind of doing their boilerplate, like, we acknowledge the union, we continue to support them, we begin bargaining, yada yada yada. But
Yeah.
yeah, I would not be surprised if we kept seeing even more and more of these. And then on a related note, this happened just today. The what's the full title? The members of the Screen Actors Guild, American Federation of Television and Radio Artists, are going on strike as I think of like midnight tonight, and this includes um, performers in the video game space, so voice actors, motion
Right.
caption actors, so on and so forth. They are going on strike. It sounds like they had been bargaining for the last year, and they had come to agreements on 24 out of 25 of their um, terms or requests and such. They had come to an agreement. That 25th one, though, is on protections around AI.
Right.
So the general consensus is a lot of studios want to, like, for example, capture or record a voice actor's voice and then use AI to generate more tech lines over and over without paying the voice actor anymore, because the voice actor is not technically working.
Right.
And then so these unions and performers are obviously pushing back against that, and it sounds like they were not able to get any kind of agreement, which is not a great look. So they will be striking as of midnight tonight. I guess there's a quick caveat that any kind of like a lot of these strikes also include like marketing pushes and such. Those halt as well, except
Sure.
for San Diego Comic-Con. If they have contracts in place where they're supposed to be at San Diego Comic-Con to talk about these projects, they're still okay to do that. But as soon as that event is over, then those people are striking.
Sure. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I guess we'll see what this is going to do. This isn't going to affect any games in the short term. this is going to be stuff that's like a year, 2 years out, or if anyone was planning to like do like pickup lines or bring people back in because they needed to do small tweaks or something coming out relatively soon. Um, so I wouldn't expect any kind of like delay in projects the rest of the year, if not like a full year. But a year out, I could then start seeing a bit of a slowdown in stuff getting over the finish line, depending on how long the strike goes for.
Right.
We'll see how that goes. All right, in really weird and sad news, Humble Games has been shut down.
Yeah.
So from what I understand, everyone is just gone. This is the publishing arm of Humble
Yes,
Bundle. So
that's right.
it sounds like Humble Bundle itself will keep going.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with that. This is the people that reach out to indies and publish their stuff. So, like, right, the reason I kind of found out about this and it hit immediately, and I was just like, why is like no one talking about this? Is because I've been playing Path of the Teal Lotus a little bit here and there, and that's a humble games published game. So they put out a thing saying like, hey, we don't know what's going on, but we're still here. And then I was reading into it. It's like, holy shit, there's like nobody talking about this right now. It just kind of happened out of nowhere. Sucks.
Yeah. The statement that was kind of put out is they put it as a restructuring. However, that restructuring is none of these people work here anymore.
Yeah, the
So it's
restructuring is
quite,
that it doesn't exist anymore.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's quite a restructure.
Yep.
So that's just a bummer to see. The parent company was Ziff Davis. They also own IGN.
Yeah.
Um, I guess the silver lining is Humble Bundle is still there. When I had first heard this, I thought it was everything Humble, and I was like,
Oh yeah.
man, losing Humble Bundle, that's like a tent pole of the games industry. I love Humble Bundle. But no, that is still there. It is just the publishing arm, but I mean, you just hate to hear of more game workers losing their jobs.
It especially sucks because Humble Games, the publisher, were one of the ones at the forefront of trying to like skirt past the AI thing. They didn't want to use AI in their stuff. So it's like just mixed with the other news thing. It's like, I guess that's just the way the industry's going. And then if they're opposed to it, then I guess we're just getting rid of them. It sucks. No
Yeah,
good.
I feel like we're going to be hearing a lot about that in from many industries going forward. If they're not going to use AI, we're just going to get rid of them.
Yeah. Hopefully the unions will help with that stuff too, though, on the
Yes,
other side. So
that's
it's an interesting time as this develops
it definitely does seem or it feels like an arms race of like
a little
AI
bit.
is coming extremely fast. These unions need to like catch up and get the protections immediately, but
Yeah.
it, when you're arguing these, it's like it's almost too late. If only we had seen this coming, we could have put the protections in ahead of time. But now it's like the people at the top are like, oh well, of course we can't allow them to have these protections. Look how much money we're about to save with
Yeah.
AI by cutting costs. I think I didn't pull it, but there was an article out. Don't even remember where it was talking about some studios are already using AI to replace workers with what was the example that they had was concept art was one of them. I wish I had pulled the article so I could credit it to something, but like it's already happening in the game space, and that's a bummer to see.
Yeah. It's especially annoying because if they just like found the way to do it properly, where it's like, yes, we're gonna use AI, but you're gonna train it, and you're gonna like we're gonna pay you in perpetuity for your rights to your AI training or whatever, then it's easier for the voice actors and it's easier for everybody else. Like there's common ground that could be met here, but they're not going to because it would mean giving up some of the profits to do it.
Yeah, exactly. Like if they were gonna pay the voice actors in perpetuity to use the AI model to replicate their voice, why not just pay the voice actor?
Right.
And that's what they're trying to not do. So Yeah, that's capitalism.
Yeah.
We got some more capitalism. Warner Brothers Games acquires Player First Games. This is the developer behind Multiverses.
Oh, okay. W- Sure. I thought that they already had them.
Nope. They
Okay.
they published that. They must have published it at least, or they were
Right.
loaning out the IP. Of course, it's all
Right.
of their IP. But no, they did not own Player First Games. Now they do. I guess we'll see what happens. There's not a lot of news there other than the acquisition happened.
Sure.
And then on the other sides of WB Games is NetherRealms was hit with layoffs.
Oh, okay.
It was
Hmm.
reported more than 50 developers were let go. It sounds like the majority were on their mobile team, and they also shut down
I did hear this.
um, Mortal Kombat Onslaught,
Yeah, their
which
mobile
was
game.
a free-to-play mobile battle arena game that I guess it launched last year. I didn't hear a single person talking about this.
That's probably why they're shutting it down.
But yeah,
Yeah.
so that's getting shut down, and unfortunately, over 50 people are losing their jobs as tied to that. So,
Wow.
but hey, they had to just buy a studio, so they needed to get that head count somewhere.
Yep.
All right. Well, there's a whole bunch of bad news for this week. With that, let's do some questions. Perspective at gmail.com, at TDP Podcast, the Discord channel, or John's P.O. Box are great ways to send your questions in. And you could sound like Rasterman that writes, what's the game that you've played the highest number of mods of?
uh the original Resident Evil 1 and 2, if you're counting like fan games that were made with those as a base, probably like Skyrim or World of Warcraft if you're talking about like UI and user experience type mods or whatever, not like gameplay focused ones.
I don't think I've ever used a mod.
Oh, okay. Well, that's an easy answer for you then.
Yeah, and there was kind of like an add-on where it's like if you've never used a mod, what's a game that you would use mods for? For some reason, just mods don't seem to like interest me that much, and I think it's mostly because I don't spend like long enough with any one game, really, where I'm like, let's change the main experience. Like I usually am moving on.
I mean,
Um,
the closest answer for you would probably be Mario Maker, because like ROM hacks would also be mods, and that's kind of what Mario Maker is, an official ROM hack maker.
I, I guess if you're including that, sure.
I would
Yeah.
include. I mean, unless you have like an actual mod, that's probably the closest we're gonna get.
Yeah, maybe the closest. Yeah, and I'm just thinking like from a technical standpoint, it is its own game, so I don't know if that
Yeah,
would fully count. But yes, it is. It is probably like the closest. So
yeah. VGC Kenny writes, now that Mickey Mouse is in the public domain, at least in some form, the obvious thing to do is make him an extra boss fight for Cuphead. But how? They could add another DLC that'll be cheaper and probably come out sooner attached to the base game, or he could be a secret boss in Cuphead 2, which would probably take a while to make and be about $35 or something. Which would you prefer? A cheaper add-on sooner or a full new game later? Also, would you want to play as Mickey once you beat him in either scenario? That part I don't care about, but it'd be a cool thing, I suppose, to be able to change from Cuphead to Mickey.
it's like another character. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Playing. So you're. It's like Steamboat Willie specifically, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that would be a cool fight. I don't know. So my head initially goes to the concept of Cuphead 2. Do you think
Hmm.
that studio wants to make a Cuphead 2? They worked on Cuphead for like a decade.
I don't know. They made that TV show, so like maybe they love Cuphead.
Well, I don't did they make I don't think they made that. They probably just like licensed out the IP to an animation studio.
Yeah, I don't know.
Um because we already got the DLC, which was pretty sizable.
Yeah,
Um
it was okay.
so I mean I guess I don't know if I want another Cuphead. Like I think I would just take like a boss fight
Hmm.
with Steamboat Willie, or maybe do like a hybrid of like because they have like the levels and then they have the boss fights.
Yeah.
Maybe do a hybrid where you have to like play through kind of a short level that leads to a boss fight at the end, and there's good checkpointing. Because that could be fun, kind of fun, because then you're getting a fight against Steamboat Willie, and then you're getting like Steamboat Willie adjacent characters and stuff kind of showing up throughout the level. Maybe so you get the best of both worlds. Maybe do something like that. I just don't know if I want a Cuphead 2 because I would love to see what else that studio could do. Because like I said, they worked on that on Cuphead for so long, and then they went right into the DLC, which took another like 3 years. I have to assume that they are tired of Cuphead.
Yeah. I think if you're going to do a Cuphead 2, I want more than just Steamboat Willie. I wanted a kind of like whole Disney like invasion sort of thing where there's a bunch of different Disney based characters and bosses and stuff like that. If you're just going to do the one because that's the only one that's in the public domain, just do like a free download or like a $2 download or something. Just give me the one boss fight, a one and done. But if you could do the full Disney thing, definitely like do that as a sequel.
Like you want them to actually like work with Disney to get like the rights to these characters and
Or
stuff.
some like if you're doing a sequel, I want a sizable thing. I don't just basically want and also Steamboat Willie's in here. It's like no, I kind of want you to just like go full with it. Otherwise, just release that as like a $5 DLC.
One thing that might be kind of cool is if, and I know that the kind of core concept of Cuphead is that very specific old animation style. But what if it was like each world was kind of a different animation style that he was
That'd be
getting
cool.
like thrust into, and so you could have like old Disney as one, but then maybe there's like Adventure Time.
Yep.
And you're in like the Adventure Time kind of thing.
The Jetsons,
and it doesn't have to
claymation, or Hanna-Barbera specifically, claymation. Like you could do a bunch of different cool shit.
You could do a whole bunch, and like now I'm wondering. So if you do that, would you want Cuphead to change into that style, or do you want Cuphead to still be the old kind of Disney animation, just superimposed in a world of that style?
No, I definitely want Cuphead to fit the surroundings. That would be the funnest part because it's kind of the constant, right? The constant variable that you can see how different the thing is each time.
Okay. That would be cool. I think that would be a good way of like making a Cuphead 2 feel like really fresh as opposed to just here's more levels.
Yeah. I agree.
Suku writes, all these years later, how do you feel about Minecraft?
I think it's great. It's just kind of not like I'm not the demo for it, really. I have other stuff to play, but I like that people like it.
What on earth is happening in our chat?
We're being rated by John. Okay. Hope it was fun, John. John, do you want to jump on for the last bit?
John, you should absolutely jump on if you're watching.
We're ending anyway, so we can just shoot the shit.
We're in the end. I'm gonna message him.
Okay.
What are we talking about?
How do you feel about Minecraft?
How do I feel about Minecraft? You know, I don't think about Minecraft that often. I liked Minecraft Dungeons. That was fun.
Yep.
I did not care for Minecraft Legends. Is that what the RTS one was?
I can't remember. It was something like that. I remember falling asleep playing that almost. Like I was falling asleep at my computer. I found it really boring.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of that one, but like Dungeons was cool. I've spent so little time in regular. Oh, here he is in regular Minecraft.
Hey. You know what? Now that you're here, I also played Chain Together this last weekend.
Did you? It's a game. It exists.
I'm never talking to my friends again. I fucking hate both of them. I hate them so much.
Well, we didn't even have that bad of a time. We were like, it was actually not bad. We're gonna do it again in like 2 weeks. We just didn't have checkpoints on, which probably would have made it a lot.
We also didn't have checkpoints on, and at some point, I don't know who did it. Somebody just started doing dumb shit, and we fell all the way to the bottom. I was like, I'm done. Like, I can't.
It broke you?
It broke me.
We got like 700 meters up or something like that. We went through like a swimming maze.
Yep, we got there. Yep.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what we did after that. Yeah, oh right, because we got to the subway. We kept getting knocked over on the subway.
Okay. So where we fell, I don't know if you got here or past it or whatever. After the subway area, there's a bunch of pipes that are kind of like the bone pipes or the bone things, the like really thin platforming that you have to do.
Yeah, we
like
didn't get to that. We got on the girders where we had to dodge the first set of lasers, and then you had to make the leap over to the moving ones. We didn't get past the moving ones.
Okay, so what I'm talking about is like literally just the next area. That's where we fell, and I was like, I can't. It's been 3 hours. I'm done. I can't.
Yeah, we hit 2.5, and we're like, yeah, it's been long enough.
Did you do open chain or closed?
Open chain.
What does that mean?
So
closed chain is everyone's connected together in like a circle. Open chain means there's someone with the first piece and someone with the last piece. So
like in a line.
yeah.
Okay. What did you do, Paul?
We did both. So we tried open for a bit, and then we tried closed. Closed was easier because it forced us to be on the same page because you have to move in unison. Whereas like one person can kind of hold you back on open and kind of create this momentum problem of pulling everyone down with them, which was just irritating.
Yeah, that happened a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were talking a bit about this before we went live. What was the name of the game before this? The up one?
Oh, so I was saying this is kind of like a only up clone. He looked up only up because I said it's no longer available. Dude took it down. He said, yes, it is. Not only is it available, there are like 5 different versions of only up from people trying to like capitalize on that name and this theme.
Oh no.
And they're all
and
negatively
you can just, like, play
rated.
them in like the browser. Like
yeah.
I played like, I don't know, 30 seconds of something called Only Up. One was called Mostly Only Up.
Mostly only up. Change up a little bit at the end. Sometimes you got to go down.
Yeah, exactly. I kind of like the verbiage there.
It's pretty
That
great.
just seems like the easiest game to make.
It is. That's why people hated on him. He got really popular for making an asset flip thing for fun because streamers really fell in love with it and people started hating on him. So he Flappy Birded and left the internet. It is what it is.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm glad you enjoyed Chain Together. That thing is stupid in the right way.
It is pretty dumb.
Yeah.
You just need the right people to play with.
Yes, for sure.
I first heard about Chain Together in conversation with the rock pushing game. I don't know the name of.
It's probably Sisyphus, right? Because that's who pushes the rock.
Yeah, something like that. You're pushing a boulder up a hill forever.
Yeah.
Well, John, you came in right at the moment. The question is, all these years later, how do you feel about Minecraft?
It's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it doesn't feel like a thing for me specifically, but I do enjoy that, like, my nephews are really into it, and it's a nice thing to pop into every now and then and play. Because, like, if you get into the deep modding system of Minecraft, it's freaking wild what you can do there.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep. Do you have any other games this week you want to talk about? We'll go back a little bit.
The only game I played this week was Gradius 4, because I was one of my streamer friends was playing it, so I'm like, okay, cool, I'll try it. It took me 4 hours to beat the game. The normal run of that game is 40 minutes. That game's hard.
Okay.
And it has unlimited continues, so that should tell you how hard it is.
Nice. Awesome.
I don't know that I played Gradius 4, actually. I played...
Yeah, you don't have to. You don't have to. You really don't.
I had a lot of troubles with Gradius 1. A lot. So...
Yeah, just play Gradius 5 or Gradius Gaiden. Just play those two.
Those games are hard. Those are difficult
but they're fun.
games. Yeah, they can be. They can be. Every time I play one of those games, I feel like they're fun for a bit, and then there's one area that's just a real bitch, and I lose kind of all fun.
Yeah, that's all
right, last question here from Dead. What is Canada's cultural identity?
To the rest of the world, hockey, moose, ice, and RCMP, or that might just be the States.
And poutine, I guess, now. People
And
talk
poutine.
about poutine.
Yeah. I'm trying to... I would be curious to ask people from outside of the States what they think, what they hear about it, because we'll hear the Americans' perspective more often.
Right.
But it's got to be like cold and hockey for sure.
Yeah. And maple syrup. Maple in general. Yeah. I've heard people.
Ryan Reynolds. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
That's not a bad person to get associated with for sure.
We have
I
wars
just
up
watched
here.
that Hot Ones episode with him and Hugh Jackman. Delightful, super funny. Beaver Tails. Okay, that's a bit of a deeper cut.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maple syrup, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Hockey. Yeah. That's the thing is whenever I'm talking to someone about Canada from the States, they only know about Vancouver, Toronto, and that there's a French part. And if they know about Calgary, I immediately ask, "Do you follow hockey?" That's usually the only reason that they'll know about Calgary.
No, the reason they know about Calgary is because of rodeo stuff and that Yellowstone TV show, which is huge. Because they apparently mentioned Calgary a shitload in there.
Oh, do they? That doesn't
wow.
come up. Like people
Yeah.
don't know about the Calgary Stampede.
I've bumped into a couple people that have, but like that's been like people at airports and stuff. So
Oh yeah,
Okay.
sure.
And I mean, I'm sure people closer to the border will know a lot more, and I'm pretty south of the border, so there's also that. But anyway, there, yeah, cold. Maybe nice. I've heard nice, or they're like too nice. They say sorry a lot.
Yep, all the stereotypes.
so
All
polite.
stereotypes. Yeah, polite for sure. All right. Well, that's it for questions. If people want to send in questions for next week, topdownperspective@gmail.com, at TP Podcast on Twitter, the Discord channel, or John's P.O. Box. Oh, here, quick other thing. Anything from Evo you want to talk about, John? Did you watch any Evo?
I missed all of Evo.
Okay. All right. Never mind then. Figured out of the three of us, you would have watched the most, but somehow
The only
did.
thing I saw was the third strike Hugo player because that was incredible.
I think I watched some of that. The with all the weird poses and stuff.
He kept doing all the weird poses and stretching and everything, and then like he actually pulled off. I think people are dubbing it like Evo Moment 38, where he actually full parried with no health a charged Tatsu from Ken, and then actually like dodges the super and just runs in and kills him. It was like a
Oh,
really
wow.
impressive one.
That is
Yes.
impressive.
It's actually a really good clip. And I think Jay
Yeah.
Wong is actually the one that's narrating it too. He's like one of the actual people on the mic, so
Yeah.
they're just like losing it. It's great.
That was one of the clips I was watching. I asked in our Discord, like, "Hey, I'm just give me some highlights to watch for. I'm watching the Street Fighter finals," and then someone sent me that one as well to watch.
Yeah.
That guy's in his 40s. Probably the
No, fighting
oldest
games for
person
everyone,
in that
man.
building.
Fighting
Good for
games for
him.
everyone.
Yeah, good for him.
All right, Sonic Fox's camera drop was a good one too.
What was that? What game
So
was that?
Sonic Fox won, like it was like he won Grand Champions for Mortal Kombat 1. And so he popped off, he ran off and got excited, and then the cameraman fell over for some reason. I don't know if he dropped the camera or literally tripped, but literally the camera just tips off to the side.
Oh, okay.
Weird. All right.
That is weird. Okay, nice. Well, good for Sonic Fox. All right. And with that, what's your guys' game of the week?
Kunitsu-Gami.
I don't want to give it the greatest four, so I guess Chained Together.
Yes.
Do Kunitsu-Gami as well. That's a cool little game for sure. So, well, hey, thanks everyone for listening. Thanks for jumping in at the last minute there, John.
Yeah.
Sorry I didn't record my part, but I assume that doesn't matter at this point.
Yeah, we'll just I'll grab the audio off the video now. But we'll be back next week, so we'll see you guys then.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.